Welcome to Motherhood in ADHD. I'm your friend, Patricia Sen. My mission is to be a lighthouse for mothers with ADHD, helping you find your path to success by learning to appreciate your ADHD as an asset. I'm seeking to change the paradigm that ADHD means your life is doomed to be a hot mess. So I'm sharing strategies and encouraging you in your pursuit of happiness to love who you are every day of your ADHD life. Hey there, successful mama. It's your friend Patricia. So I'm curious to know if you choose a word for the new year. I have done this a couple of times. I've picked words like one year I did persistence, one year I did calm, and this year I chose the word fail. I know that sounds crazy because that's like the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing, is choosing a word of optimism and a goal to really push you forward. So it doesn't seem like failure would be something to strive for. But for me, it is, because I struggle with perfectionism. And that means that a lot of the times I play life very safely. Ooh, is that appropriate adverb usage there? Oh, I play life carefully. I know that's the right one. And that allows me to avoid failure because I know I didn't mess it up. I didn't make a mistake. I did it well, and I did it quote unquote perfectly. But what I've realized in the past couple of months in just my self-reflection and really wanting to be the best person that I can be is that in pursuing perfectionism, that means that I don't put myself out there. I don't try new things that I have any sort of doubt won't go well. I don't try things that are really scary and there's a good chance that I won't do well with it. And to me, that's a problem, because I realize if I'm never pushing myself to do something I've never done, then what am I changing? What am I getting better? And I came to this realization when I was listening to a professional athlete talk about how he pushes so hard to the point of failure because that's where he knows his muscles can't do anymore. And once he hits that, farthest point, then he knows, okay, that's my goal. I keep pushing for that. And once he attains that, he pushes for the next goal. But you only find that point of failure by failing, which sounds like common sense, but I didn't pick up on that previously. So my goal is to keep pushing myself to do things that are quite likely going to set myself up for failure, because then I know what I'm capable of, but that creates my goal of what to pursue next. That's not to say I failed and now I gave up. Instead, I failed. Okay, that's what I'm going to work on. That's where I have a tangible, I put a name to the thing that I need to work on, and I can work on it. If I don't actually know what the problem is, I can't fix it. So you know that I've been working on the school auction for my son's preschool, and this has for sure been a failure practice. I'm continually putting myself out there, asking for things I wouldn't normally ask for, asking for help, which I hate doing. You all know I've talked about that plenty of times. And really pushing myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do. They're very much out of my comfort zone. And in asking for donations, I'm hearing no a lot. And one of the things I've realized is that the actual no doesn't upset me. What I struggle with is being able to request it in a perfect way so that they will say yes. And I've had to do a lot of reminders that people saying no is not necessarily a reflection on me, and it's not a reflection on my son's school. It could just be the place that they're in. If I'm asking you for help and you don't feasibly have the ability to help me, that's okay. It's not a reflection on me. Or if you really have a love for helping animal charities and I'm asking you to help with a school, that might not be where your heart is, and that's okay. I'd rather that person tell me no upfront than to string me along like they want to help me, than realize, hey, 3 months down the road, oh, just kidding, I didn't really want to help you. I really love helping dogs. So it's been a learning activity for sure. So I'm consciously working on this failure in the volunteer job that I took on in learning how to swim. That's been quite a failure project continually not doing something well and working really hard to get better and better at it. And I found that in just my transformation of being a generally not athletic person growing up to being somebody who really pursues physical health, there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm doing it well, and then I realize there's still so much more to it that I don't understand. So for example, I really like Pilates, and I know that I have come so far in what I can do within the world of Pilates, and yet there is always a nuance or a tiny little thing that I can work on to improve my Pilates practice. And at first I was getting discouraged of like how I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I've been doing Pilates. How 2 years in can I still totally miss the boat on some things? But my instructor, who's awesome, reminds me, we weren't working on these nuances a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, we were trying to get the basics done. So you're never going to be an expert and know everything about a topic. There's always going to be more you can improve, more that you can do better on. It's just you're focusing on different things depending on your level. And I've had to do a lot of acceptance, I guess, to get to that point because I don't like failing. So instead of looking at it as failing, it's looking at it as growing. But I can't grow without the failure. And because the failure is scary to me, that's the word that I'm focusing on for this year. So what does this mean for you, Mama? Think about what you set out for the beginning of the year. Did you have a New Year's resolution? Did you have any kind of goals that you were trying to attain this year? Where do you stand on them? It's March. You're about probably 10-ish weeks in. If you're super discouraged and realize you haven't done anything for it, hey, you still have 9.5 months left, and people can grow a whole human in 9.5 months. So I feel like you've got plenty of time to achieve this goal. But let's break it down. First, when are you going to start again? Can it be tomorrow? Do you need like a fresh start? Like, are you somebody who's like, yeah, I need to like start on a Monday or the first of the month or whatever makes you feel like it's a fresh start time? Say it's going to be on Monday since the podcast comes out on Thursday. Let's plan for Monday. What can you do in the next 3 days to get ready for that start? If you want to be eating healthier, what can you meal plan this weekend? If you want to work out, can you go in and look at the schedule for wherever you can work out and pick a class and sign up for it? Can you write it on your calendar the time that you're going to do yoga in your living room? Can you find somewhere where it's on your schedule and you have that appointment that you're going to keep with yourself? If it's looking for a new job, what can you do to update your resume or fill in some applications? Put those on your calendar. Schedule a specific time to get those things done. And when you're scheduling them, think through the tasks. Break it down into small pieces. Getting a new job is too big of a goal to tackle. Write down all the steps that you need to do to get that goal. Updating your resume, creating profiles on sites like LinkedIn or Indeed. Who can you talk to within your network circle that would know the person who would know the person to talk to? Break it down into those little bitty pieces and schedule those out. Hey, in March, I'm going to tackle steps 1 and 2. In April, I'm going to do steps 3 and 4. So create that plan for yourself, breaking it down into tiny steps, writing it into your schedule. And when you think about that, don't make it too big. You don't have to spend 2 hours planning your life goals. Just take 10 minutes in the next couple of days to do that planning. We build things up in our head a lot of time that it's going to be this ridiculous amount of work and we can't possibly work on it right now because we're not ready and we're not in the right headspace or whatever it is. Let those excuses go and say, I'm going to dedicate 10 minutes to this at this time on this day. Maybe that needs to be right now. Maybe you need to hit stop on this podcast and take 10 minutes and work on that brainstorm of the steps you need to take to make that goal. Because I think most of us usually know what goal we want to hit. It just seems too big and like kind of undefined and vague for us to actually work towards. So here's your pep talk for 2020, goals, resolutions, whatever you want to call them, choosing your word for the year, however it is that you want to move and grow and be better in the next 9.5 months that you have in 2020. Take that time, break it down into a couple steps once you've identified the change that you want to make, and schedule something on your calendar right now. So you've made one step forward. And whenever we take a little step forward, even if it's small, that gives us the motivation, that positive consequence to do it again. So, Successful Mama, Pep Talk is here. You can do it. Hit that goal running. Forget that it's March and you're not where you want to be. Let it go. Start anew. We cannot change the past. We're moving forward. I will talk to you next week. Please make sure that you hit subscribe so that you get my next episode on your podcast app as soon as it's out. Have an amazing week, Successful Mama, and we will talk soon. Thank you for listening to Motherhood and ADHD. For more resources, head over to our website, www.motherhoodandadhd.com.